Hello player, today we will analyze the match between a Giri with the white pieces and Rangebabu Praggnanandhaa with the black pieces. d4. Knight f6. c4. e6. Knight c3. Bishop b4. e3. Kingside castling. Bishop d3. d5. a3. Bishop captures on c3 check. b captures on c3. d captures on c4. Bishop captures on c4. c5. Knight f3. Queen c7. Bishop e2. b6. Bishop b2. c captures on d4. c captures on d4. Bishop a6. Kingside castling. Queen b7. Rook e1. Bishop captures on e2. Queen captures on e2. Knight from b, d7. e4. Rook from a, c8. h3. b5. Rook from a, d1. h6. Knight h2. b4. a captures on b4. Queen captures on b4. Rook d3. The evaluation became -0.9. This move was a mistake. The best move was bishop a1. For example, bishop a1. f5. Knight g4. With a balanced game. Rook d3. Rook c2. Bishop a3. Rook captures on e2. Bishop captures on b4. Rook captures on e1 check. Bishop captures on e1. Knight captures on e4. d5. Knight from d, c5. Rook a3. e captures on d5. f3. Knight g5. Rook captures on a7. Rook c8. Rook a1. Knight from g, e6. Rook d1. d4. Knight g4. Rook b8. This move was inaccurate. The best move was knight a4. For example, knight a4. Knight f2. Rook c2. With an advantage for black. Rook b8. Bishop g3. Rook b3. Knight f2. Knight a4. King f1. This move was inaccurate. The best move was h4. For example, h4. h5. King h2. With an advantage for black. King f1. Knight c3. Rook a1. King h7. Bishop d6. This move was inaccurate. The best move was h4. For example, h4. Knight d5. King g1. Knight e3. Knight d1. Knight c4. Rook c1. With a decisive advantage for black. Bishop d6. Knight d5. King g1. King g6. This move was inaccurate. The best move was knight e3. For example, knight e3. Rook e1. Knight c4. Bishop g3. d3. Rook c1. Knight e3. Knight e4. Knight d4. With a decisive advantage for black. King g6. Rook e1. h5. Bishop e5. Knight e3. Knight e4. h4. Knight f2. This move was inaccurate. The best move was bishop d6. For example, bishop d6. Rook b6. Bishop h2. With a decisive advantage for black. Knight f2. Knight c4. This move gives back part of the advantage. the best move was King f5. For example, King f5, Bishop d6, Knight f4, Bishop captures on f4, King captures on f4, King h2, f5, with a decisive advantage for black. Knight c4, Bishop h2. The evaluation became -4.5, this move was a mistake, the best move was Bishop captures on d4. For example, Bishop captures on d4. Knight captures on d4. Rook e4. Knight captures on f3 check. G captures on f3. Knight d2. Rook g4 check. King f5. Rook captures on g7. Knight captures on f3 check. King f1. Knight g5. King e2. Rook b2 check. King e1. With a decisive advantage for black. Bishop h2. d3. Knight e4. d2. Rook d1. Rook d3. This move was inaccurate, the best move was Rook b2. For example, Rook b2. Bishop d6. Rook c2. With a decisive advantage for black. Rook d3. King f1. f5. This move was inaccurate, the best move was Rook d8. For example, Rook d8. King g1. Knight d4. With a decisive advantage for black. f5. Knight f2. The evaluation became -4.8, this move was a mistake, the best move was Knight captures on d2. For example, Knight captures on d2. Rook captures on d2. Rook captures on d2. Knight captures on d2 check. King e2. Knight c4. Bishop b8. King f6. King f1. With a decisive advantage for black. Knight f2. Rook d7. This move was inaccurate, the best move was Rook c3. For example, Rook c3. Bishop b8. King h7. With a decisive advantage for black. Rook d7. Rook a1. Knight e3 check. This move gives back part of the advantage, the best move was King h5. For example, King h5. Bishop b8. Rook d8. With a decisive advantage for black. Knight e3 check. King e2. Knight d4 check. King captures on d2. Knight b3 check. This move was inaccurate, the best move was Knight captures on g2. For example, Knight captures on g2. King c3. Knight e2 check. With a decisive advantage for black. Knight b3 check. King captures on e3. Knight captures on a1. Knight d3. Knight c2 check. King e2. Knight d4 check. King e3. Knight c2 check. King e2. King h5. Knight f4 check. King h6. Knight d3. Knight d4 check. King e3. Knight e6. f4. Rook a7. Bishop g1. Rook a3. King e2. Rook a2 check. King f3. King h5. Bishop e3. Rook a3. King e2. Rook b3. Knight e5. Rook b4. Knight d3. Rook a4. King f3. Knight c7. This move was inaccurate, the best move was Knight d4. For example, Knight d4 check. Bishop captures on d4. Rook captures on d4. Knight e5. Rook e4. With a decisive advantage for black. Knight c7. Bishop d2. Knight d5. King e2. Rook a2. King e1. Knight f6. Knight f2. This move was inaccurate, the best move was knight b4. For example, knight b4. Rook a1 check. King e2. Knight e4. Bishop e1. Knight g3 check. King f2. Rook a4. King f3. With a decisive advantage for black. Knight f2. Knight e4. Knight captures on e4. F captures on e4. f5. Rook b2. King e2. Rook b5. Bishop c3. Rook captures on f5. Bishop captures on g7. Rook g5. Bishop d4. Rook captures on g2 check. King e3. Rook g3 check. King captures on e4. Rook captures on h3. King f4. Rook b3. Bishop f2. h3. Bishop g1. Rook b2. Black's victory. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your suggestions.